Let's talk about erasers. Normally, when we were at school, we were using very firm rubber erasers, but probably when you started doing painting or drawing and reading guides, you will always see in the materials kneaded eraser. So, kneaded eraser is a different thing from regular, I would say, like school eraser that we use with regular graphite pencils. So kneaded erasers, they are actually kneaded. You can knead them, and they are made of the same kind of rubber material, but they are better for drawing, sketching, because they have certain differences from regular eraser. Regular eraser, what it does, it just completely erases a line of a pencil and it leaves a lot of debris. But when we work with kneaded eraser, we actually can control how much of the pencil marks it lifts. And also kneaded erasers, they can work on pastels, and not oil pastels, just soft pastels, and colored pencils, and graphite as well. And we can control how much are we lifting, because it can be the case of just a very dark sketch and we cannot leave it like this because the pencil marks will be visible. So we can roll the kneaded eraser on top of it, and it will start lifting little by little the pencil marks. Or we can do the touch-ups when we just use it like a tape and it sticks to the paper, lifts a little bit of the mark, and we can control the way how much are we leaving on paper, because we probably still need some guidelines. And this is a case of sketching, but also we use kneaded eraser when we are drawing, and we are using a subtractive technique. It means we are lifting back the marks we did. And because kneaded eraser is so flexible and moldable, and we can actually rip it and put it back together, and we can also make very small tiny parts, very miniature, and we can use them to lift the pencil marks, and it will create highlights, lines, and whatever pattern we want. And also, as we previously saw, when we use a regular eraser, what it does, it leaves a lot of debris behind, but it also slowly starts to eat from itself. So at some point there will be a little piece left, and at some point there will be nothing left. This is not the case with kneaded eraser. I can show you a clean one, a new one that I did not yet unpack, and you can see how clean it is. And it looks firm, but it is the same moldable as this one, but you can see this one is already a little bit dirty, because when we use it, it does not kind of uses itself, it absorbs all the graphite and pencil marks in itself, and you can just clean it by kneading it. That's why every time we use it, we first knead it very well to make sure it's clean on the sides that we're gonna use, and then we use it. So it means that we can use the kneaded eraser much longer than the regular one, because it does not it doesn't run out right? It just stays the same. At some point, of course, it can become firmer and firmer and like dirtier and dirtier, because it will be already loaded and packed with so much of this pastel, charcoal, graphite pencil, whatever drawing materials you use, and then you can switch to a new one. But in general, they last really long. And also you can always, if you buy a big one like this one, you can always just take a little piece and store the rest in the box it comes with, like for example this box, and only use this one, and when this one is already too dirty you get another piece, and so on. And as I said, the kneaded eraser works on colored pencils and pastels as well. Of course, kneaded erasers also can be from different brands and different quality, but in general they're pretty much all the same. And as you can see, it does lift it slowly, and you can see that it starts absorbing the color. And the regular eraser also works for this. It can also become dirty, and we will have to clean it manually because it does not self-clean, so to speak, and it always will leave something behind, which is not really convenient for cleanup. And let's see the soft pastels. You can see it lifts really nicely, and again it's dirty now, but we will mold it and knead it. And you can see how the intensity of that red color disappears, and it's ready to be used again. And same, the kneaded eraser works too, but again you need to clean it manually after using it on any colored drawing materials. So as you can see, they're pretty much the same in terms of how they made, but the kneaded erasers are easier to use on drawing, it's easier to control, it's easier to clean, and it's a more versatile tool that lasts longer. And also another very important note, that kneaded eraser will never damage the paper or leave any marks on it, no matter how much and how many times you're gonna use it. And we know that some erasers like this white, no, but there are like pink erasers, they're a little bit harsher, they can damage the paper to the point that they can tear it. So if you are drawing on paper, you should be very careful with this, and better using kneaded eraser, which is safer for paper. And of course, the last thing is it's how versatile kneaded erasers are. I already said that we can mold them in certain shapes to make stencils, to make lines, to make any pretty much shape, and we cannot do this with regular erasers. So again, if you're just starting drawing, and even if you're using regular graphite or even charcoal pencils just for sketching before you paint, I would recommend using kneaded erasers and not regular erasers. I hope that clarifies.